Joining us now from Chicago is Democratic Congressman Luis Gutiérrez. He's a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, the Supreme Court handed victories to the administration. Decisions, for example, on same-sex marriage, the Affordable Care Act, both considered constitutional. Does that make you hopeful that the court in this particular case will once again rule in the White House's favor?
First, Wolf, thanks for having me on. It's a great day in America, a great day to be an American. I'm proud of the fact that the Supreme Court has taken on the case, and I'm very joyful today. 4 million people, the Supreme Court can give them a way to register with the government. That is, with their own money, go into a serious background check, check out their fingerprints, pay for it themselves, register with the government, get a work permit. I am very optimistic that what the president has done is lawful, constitutional, and follows many, many precedents that other presidents and chief executives of the United States have already taken. So I'm very confident that when the Supreme Court, Wolf, you have to understand one thing really about this, that is, had the Supreme Court not taken it, it was dead. It was never going to go anywhere in the Seventh Circuit. It was over. President Barack Obama would not be president of the United States, and it would have taken years. The fact is the Supreme Court knows this, and they want to make it an issue. And it's great that it should become an issue in July of this year, as everybody's having their conventions, and we're looking forward to a presidential campaign with the nominees of each party.
But it's by no means a slam dunk for your side. The argument against the president's executive action that he himself on several occasions, when rejecting this kind of unilateral executive action, had said he's the president of the United States, he's not the emperor of the United States. So there's a legal battle that's going to be unfolding, and there are conservative justices, liberal justices, as you well know, Congressman.
Let me give you a couple of examples, Wolf. So President Truman, he desegregated the armed forces of the United States after World War II. He said no longer would we have companies and battalions in the armed forces. They would segregate Latinos from blacks, from Native Americans, from Asians, from white men. He did that. You know, it took us until 1963, nearly 15 years later, before the law caught up with what President Truman did. The Emancipation Proclamation is an executive order freeing the slaves. Abraham Lincoln did that. Now that we have to change the Constitution of the United States to catch up with that. So there have been executive. It's what presidents are able to do, especially when the Congress of the United States refuses to act. Look, Wolf, I think if you and I were to evaluate honestly the Congress of the United States, we'd come to the conclusion that there are enough senators and enough members of Congress to fix our broken immigration system, and yet we do not do it. And so the President of the United States, looking at this situation, he said to himself, God, there are 5 million American citizen children whose parents are undocumented, who are going to go through a criminal background check, who present no risk to our company. As a matter of fact, a great benefit to our country. Shouldn't they be allowed to raise those children while the Congress of the United States finally takes action? I get that the president said no, but you know what I believe? I'm going to share with you what I truly believe. I think the president really wanted to bring Democrats and Republicans together and have a legislative solution. I think that was his response to us.
Quick question, sure. Congressman. This is an executive order. Let's say the Supreme Court says the president was right. He could sign this into executive order, and starting in July, August, September, the process begins to unfold. But what happens if there's a Republican president elected in November? That Republican president can unsign that executive order on day one, and that would obviously reverse all those gains from your perspective. You're aware of that possibility?
Sure. That possibility exists. It is an executive order. But I just want you to think one moment, Wolf. I want you to think of millions of people coming forward, registering with the government, showing they represent no threat, paying their taxes, having American citizen children that they're raising. I mean, who's going to reverse that kind of situation? I don't see it happening. But listen, that's what elections are for, Bruce. So next November, when people walk into the ballot box, one of the critical issues that they're going to have on their mind as they vote for the next president of the United States is who's going to protect those 4 million people and who's not. I think a lot of people in America want a sensible, just, immigration system, well, that's going to protect those moms and dads and let them raise their American citizen children.
Before that happens, though, the U.S. Supreme Court has to make its decision. We'll see what the 9 justices decide to do before the end of June. Congressman Luis Gutierrez of Illinois, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf.